Hey, what up, Laker fans? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Would the Lakers consider trading Russell Westbrook to the New York Knicks for Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and Alec Burks? We're going to get into that in just a second, but quick reminder for all latest Lakers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Lakers content, smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. And as always, I'm with your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Lakers 24-8 question of the day. If you were the Lakers and the Knicks were willing to do this deal, would you trade Russell Westbrook to the Knicks in exchange for Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and Alec Burks? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. Let me know down below. And for all latest Lakers news, head over to alllakers.com. Yeah, so what should the Lakers do at this point? Should they stick with Russell Westbrook? Well, look, he's shown that he can still have nights where he can go off. Just look at the game against the Utah Jazz. 30 points in the second half. He became the first Laker to score 30 points and a half since Kobe Bryant did that. So he still has some left in the tank. The question is, can he be a productive player and contribute on the same floor as LeBron and AD? And is there still time to develop chemistry before the playoffs begin? I think that is the billion-dollar question. And if the answer is no, do you look to trade Russell Westbrook before the February 10th NBA trade deadline? Because like I always like to say, what must be done eventually should be done immediately. The only issue with Russ is his contract and also his current status. He hasn't done a lot to really increase his trade value out there. And if you look at the contract he has, he was paid over $44.3 million this season. This season's almost over. And then he can exercise that player option of over $47 million. And he's most certainly going to do that. And while we already know there's not a robust trade market for Russell Westbrook, one, because of his contract, and two, because of his play this season, but there is a team that it makes sense for, and that is the New York Knicks. And ESPN's Bobby Marks, the former assistant GM of the Brooklyn Nets, his proposal is the Lakers send Russell Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan, Wayne Ellington, their 2027 first-round pick, top 14 protected, in exchange for Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and Alec Burks. So a lot of players included in this deal, and let's first look at it from the Lakers' perspective. How would these players help LA? So first, let's start with Kemba Walker. So before we get into his numbers, remember the Lakers were interested in signing Kemba a few years ago, but this isn't that Kemba. He's not the four-time All-Star that you remember with the Charlotte Hornets and in his first year with the Boston Celtics. His numbers have gone down through the years, and so far this season, he's averaging 12 points per game, 3.4 assists, 1.4 turnovers, shooting 40.5% from the field, but 37.4% from beyond the arc on 5.5 attempts per game. So yes, Kemba Walker's career has been on a precipitous decline, but he has had some moments this year. He dropped 44 in a game earlier this season. He has handle, he can dribble, he can run an offense, and he could help this Lakers team. And then you talk about Evan Fournier. So far this season, Evan Fournier averaging 14.1 points per game on 43% shooting, but look at that three-point percentage, shooting it at a 40.3% clip on 7.1 attempts per game. So he's been disappointing in New York, but he's another guy. He can dribble, he can catch and shoot. He's a guy that can just make shots. He's a bucket getter, and if you look at his contract, he would require the longest commitment. He signed that 4-year, $73 million deal, and he's owed $18 million next season, and then $18.8 million in the 23-24 season, and then he has a $19 million team option for the 24-25 season. But Evan Fournier, he's a guy that, look, that's not a terrible contract and a change of scenery. Him in LA with LeBron James, with Anthony Davis, he's another guy that can make shots, and that's big for this Lakers team. And look, we've seen LeBron James and AD not only have success, but win a championship without a third superstar. Look, you put a decent supporting cast around these two. If they stay healthy, they can win championships. They've proven us that. And then how about Alec Burks? So Alec Burks so far this season averaging 11.1 points per game, 4.2 boards, 2.5 dimes, 1.1 steals on 38.3% shooting. So yes, that number is not good, but a respectable 39.9% from three on almost 5 attempts per game. And he's a guy that can, look, he can knock down three-point shots as well at times. He's under contract for next year at just over $10 million and has a $10.4 million team option for 2023-2024. So if you look at all their contracts, Kemba Walker under contract for next season, Alec Burks under contract for next season, then after that, they're off the books. The only guy that you have to commit to for longer than next year would be Evan Fournier. Now, your next question is, if you're the New York Knicks, why would you want to trade for Russell Westbrook? Well, I've asked around, I've talked to some people that cover the Knicks, and they tell me that the Knicks value Russell Westbrook's $47 million expiring contract after next season. They fully anticipate he will opt into that player option at $47 million, but after next year, it's off the book. So by doing that, they come off of Evan Fournier's $18 million the following season, and we see the Knicks are in a better spot to have more cap space to sign more free agents. So if you're the Knicks, you see where they're at in the standings. They're a team that doesn't have expectations of going very far this season. They're a team that really, it's been disappointing coming off the momentum that they built last year. Yeah, Julius Randle really ascending as an all-star, but look, it just hasn't been their year, and they're looking to make some moves. You heard about them trying to acquire De'Aaron Fox and maybe considering trading Julius Randle. Are they trying to blow things up in New York? I think that's definitely a possibility. And look, you bring in Russell Westbrook. He has that name cachet. They see the analytics, knowing that Russell Westbrook, if he's the guy with the ball in his hands as the primary star, he can still put up really nice numbers, and he's a name. He's a draw. You will see Spike Lee and Chris Rock and all the big names that go to Madison Square Garden. They're going to want to tune in and check out Russell Westbrook at the Garden. Look, we've heard about the Knicks as a potential landing spot for Russ for years. You know he's got his foot in the fashion game. You know he's the Brody. You know he's one of the most fashionable players. You'd probably like to live in New York and see what it's like to play with the Knicks. And for me personally, I just want to see Russell Westbrook versus that New York media. Get your popcorn ready if that ever happens. But I think the other issue, though, is Tom Thibodeau, because Tom Thibodeau and Russell Westbrook, their systems, their style of play, he's a very defensive-minded coach. That would not mix with Russell Westbrook. That would go together like orange juice and toothpaste. It just would not work. But like I said, if you're the New York Knicks, you get these players off the books and you shed that third year of that Evan Fournier contract. So it does make some sense for them, because look, they're a team that wants to, they have the draft picks. They're a team that wants to put themselves in a position to sign some big free agents. So if you really dive into this trade proposal, you can really see how it could make sense for both teams. But let me know down below in the comments, if you were LA, would you make this move? If you were New York, would you make this move? Let me know down below. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Lakers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Lakers content, smash that like button. And as always, go Lakers.